Why China's building a Death Star-sized embassy in London. Spoiler, it's not for tea parties with the Queen. This is Preston Bates with Vox Populi. I'm here with my producer off camera, the mysterious Socrates. Socrates, here's a story that's bound to get people's hair on fire. The Standard says, fury over plans for spy dungeons beneath the new Chinese embassy in London. Socrates, what do we think about this plan for a Chinese embassy in East London as a colossal fortress?
Look, I spent this morning, as you know, throwing up from some really bad Chinese food yesterday, so I'm not feeling all that well disposed toward this particular culture on this particular evening. No, I mean, I think it's quite concerning, as a Western civilizationist myself, when you see a culture as opposed to ours as China and so diametrically opposed to the American interests as an American myself as China is. When you see them trying to create a fortress over here, you wonder, what are they trying to sort of scurry in with? What are they going to disturb next, to say the least?
Some people are satirizing it, calling it Walmart for espionage or a sci-fi villains HQ. That's kind of interesting. Apparently, it's going to be the largest embassy in London. And local opposition from the Tories apparently had killed this embassy before, but maybe Labour, practically bleeding CCP bread, have decided that they don't really mind, so it might be going ahead. There's fury because they said to submit a blueprint for the embassy, and it has mysterious basement with dungeons in it that could be used for God knows what. The Chinese didn't invent water torture, but it sure looks like some of it might happen there. Let's talk about the globalists and their naivety, because we're all arguing about pronouns, and the Chinese are playing 4D chess and Monopoly in London. What do you think?
I mean, like you said, why does an embassy need big, mysterious basements? I think anytime somebody decides they want to build something really big or take up, a really big presence in somebody else's home, you should question why they would like to do so, If you're a little too welcoming to everybody, you're basically for nobody. You stand for nothing. And I think the UK, which was once the seat of quite a great civilization, is quite in danger of that. They really turned around Hong Kong and made it a center of all sorts of things.
So let's read the Standard article and get a sense for what Tories are saying. So Downing Street is under fire over revived plans to build a vast Chinese super embassy in London, a proposal previously blocked by the former Conservative government. Planning documents for the proposed site, located at the historic Royal Mint Building near the Tower of London, reveal 2 suites of anonymous, unlabeled basement rooms and a tunnel with their intended purpose redacted for security reasons. Conservatives have accused the government of appeasement toward Beijing, warning the so-called dungeons could be used for espionage or to intimidate dissidents, according to the Mail this past Sunday. Leveling Up Secretary Kevin Hollenrake has written to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, claiming the government has been caught, quote, red-handed in an attempt to ram this mega embassy, end quote, through the planning system. He added, quote, it would be a barbarous irony that a site so close to the medieval Tower of London could become a modern-day dungeon under a Starmer government, end quote. Mr. Hollingrake also criticized the striking level of redactions in the embassy's planning documents, asking, quote, why does the use of basement rooms need to be redacted, given they are not in public sight and there is no public access, end quote. He warned, continuing, this subterranean zone will undeniably be used for intelligence work by the Chinese Communist Party and its arm, the United Front Work Department. But there is also a chilling prospect that it could be used for abduction, intimidation, or torture of anti-Chinese dissidents living in the United Kingdom, end quote. The original embassy plans were blocked under the Conservative government following objections from the British intelligence agencies and Scotland Yard, who raised concerns about the proximity of sensitive data cables that could be intercepted by Chinese spies. But the application was resubmitted in January this year, shortly before Chancellor Rachel Reeves visited China. President Xi Jinping is said to have personally lobbied for the embassy's approval. The government has yet to comment publicly on the renewed application. Meanwhile, internal divisions persist over whether to officially classify China as a hostile state alongside Iran and Russia. I want to know what you think. Drop a comment and a like if you think London's new landlord is Xi Jinping. Smash that like button harder than the Chinese firewall. Vox Populi Media keeping it not CC approved.